And yet again, our targets have been met with absolute accuracy, and it looks like our loading zone is approaching fast. What I can say is avoid underestimating the probabilities of price during uncertain and volatile times. With a potential 25 to 50 bip rate cut coming and a quad witching approaching, the variables are endless. Welcome back to the channel on this Taco Tuesday. This is ARCa, and let's dive into AMC. Let's kill 'em, team. What is up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. Please do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, do everything necessary to get this thing to live long, thrive, and survive. Let's go ahead and dive into AMC on the hourly chart, and this is actually the day, right? This is the intraday chart right in here from what we observed today, right? So yesterday's price action, right? This was your close where we ended up making the thread of analysis, understanding here that we were on a dead cat bounce potential. Our first target to observe was right down here at the area of $4.82. Of which we used several other time frames to really give us the higher probability support zone, right? So we noticed here that, yes, we had a 482 bottom, but we created this range in here just yesterday to identify a support bounce area before continuation to the downside. And take a look at price, right? Reaching a low of about 480 from our 481 target, off by a penny. And we absolutely used the 481, even the 483 as support, and also open at 482. So you guys, we were absolutely dead on with our bottom side targets. Not only that, is that we absolutely were dead on with our upper bound targets as well, right? We had a 493, ended up reaching 495. Remember that our loading zone here is located somewhere in the bottom side in this area here, okay? I still see a potential drop coming in. I still see some reaccumulation happening in this area here, right? Because look at this bounce here, right? Take a look at the candle that reached down to this level here and this candle right here, right? Right within this range here. Huge upside, right? Big, I mean, what is this right here? It was $4.72 reaching all the way to 501, right? So big bounces have happened from this area here, even from this point here. Big candle here, continuing on to the upside here to eventually reaching the target of around 511, right? So yeah, I do think that it's an important price zone actually to reach in order for us to really see demand come in for the AMC asset, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at the probabilities now using volatility and momentum. Now, guys, I'm just going to go ahead and put that reminder out here, right? Please remember the beginners charting and trading mentorship program will be starting here pretty soon. The seats are getting taken. I want to make sure that you can get your butts in there, right? ArcMastersCourse at Gmail. I'll go ahead and send you the syllabus, the disclaimer, everything necessary for that master's course, right? It really is made for beginners here. Understand how to trade, make a difference in your portfolio, and make a change, right? So yeah, you guys, let's go ahead and stop the shilling here. Let's make sure to continue on with the analysis. The hourly time frame, volatility versus stochastic momentum, right? This is volatility represented in linear. This is your stochastic momentum indicator here, indicating a potential upside. So let's go in to an even more granular level. How about the 15-minute time frame? All right, so 15-minute time frame is indicating an expansion phase. What you want to observe volatility like is actually like this. It's expansion as in throttle, right? Think of the gas pedal on your car. So if you hit the gas pedal, you're going to go forward and faster, right? Or backwards, right? It doesn't matter. So if you're hitting the throttle, you're going, right? If you are now pivoted towards the downside on momentum, that is telling you that you're hitting the gas with a downside pivot using stochastics, right? That is presently what I usually look at, right? Just before I get my own bias. Of course, I got to look at price action first before I can make the indicators give me any probability moves, but we already have been seeing the decline of price action from up here, right? We already kind of knew that this was all going to happen, right? It's still acting as such, and the play is happening as we planned, right? So yeah, downside momentum here on the 15-minute time frame, which means that the 10-minute time frame is probably on an even more exponential downside or corrective bottom. So let's go ahead and take a look at that, right? There's the exponential downside still nosediving here, and let's load. Yeah, there we go. Expansion is starting to happen. We're about to break over that 15% of critical contraction, entering an expansion phase here, right? So yeah, there's still some downside to be observed. If I were to put any guesses for the immediate short term, sure, I definitely see that price action is going to come down to this area here of 480, bounce to the upside, validate the resistances of around 483, continue to the downside here, eventually reaching the 478 to 476. This could be the probability for tomorrow before we try and attempt to reach the 471 bottoms, right? So this looks also like a potential dead cat bounce yet again. So let's go ahead and just gather that target here and take a look at that, right? So it's telling us here that we could be reaching the better part of, oh my goodness, if I can just get that straight. There we go. The better part of around $4.75, just about a penny off of that 476, right? It's similar. It's similar to what we observed just yesterday, right? We'll get that bottom side again and price action will continue. Now, please remember, guys, we definitely have the quadruple witching coming in for all major options expiries coming on this Friday. And most importantly, actually, jobless claims, initial jobless claims, all of that on Thursday too. So that's going to be a potential for markets to move. Okay, the next thing we want to observe is going to be the very famous and the very anticipated Fed rate cut, right? The interest rate cut. This is going to be coming in on tomorrow, right? So please remember to observe the potentials of that data. If I'd say, guys, that I think that the markets will potentially correct, right? Some potential downside on the SPY, the Qs, right? All that stuff. If we get that 25 BIP correction, I believe that if we get a 50 BIP correction, which could be a 50 basis point correction, meaning ups, you're getting a rate cut here. So meaning that it's going to be a little easier to borrow cash, right? On credit. I believe that the markets will correct temporarily a little deeper than it would considering the 25 BIP, right? So if we get a 50 BIP, definitely a little more downside. If we get a 25 BIP, downside still, but not as exponential. So let's just go ahead and make sure to observe the probabilities of price like that. Now, remember, team, I am still observing here the higher probability moves for the downside in the immediate short term, right? But still, I want to go ahead and take you on to the 4-hour time frame here and remind you that we are still within a pretty macro formation here, right? So, and I think that I may have had it on this. You know what? We could use it on this chart right here too, right? So this is what you're observing here, right? I can even use an 8-hour chart to observe the probabilities here. Yep, we could definitely do that. So the 8-hour time frame here, SMA 200 landing right about that 478. And if we're looking at the chart, we're already talking about that 478, right? Check it out. We already have that 478 in line. In fact, if we go down to the daily time frame, maybe we can observe another probability. Actually, this is signaling here a potential 477 bottom. Again, here we have a 477 right there, right? Very impressive times here, right? Let's see the 12-hour time frame or the daily. Actually, we said the daily, and there you go. That is your SMA 200 bottom side at $4.71, which is also confluent to our bottom side here for that potential demand zone and reaccumulation area. Okay, so please consider being very patient here, because when it comes to an SMA 200 on a daily time frame, price usually tries to go and, this was we broke below it here. We reclaimed the upside of it, resisted from the SMA 50. This would be a potential retest of your SMA 200 before continuing on to the upside. Now, what is dangerous here is the fact that we are, with a downward trend. Actually, I mean, the SMA 50 is whatever, right? But it's still with a downside trend. We created what's called a death cross, right? So that usually means further downside. This is, however, an inverse head and shoulders, indicating a potential top side target of around $5.67. Upon realizing that formation, right? So I'm still observing that formation. Even if price action came down to that 472, 471 area, I still believe that the validity over this psychological formation on a daily time frame has a pretty good probability. Now, if you can take a look at my indicator right down here, signaling this little silver diamond, right? That usually means that we have a silver cross happening on the daily. The silver cross is consistent of an EMA 55 or with an EMA 21, right? So let's go ahead and add the EMA exponential period 55 over the 21 period, and there you go, right? So this is a present silver cross, right? That's going to be your EMA 21 shorter time frame period, moving average crossing above the longer term EMA 55 period. Okay, so it looks like it's about to inverse right here as well. So just remember, guys, that we are looking at 4 major moving averages here that could be okay. In reality, I could definitely trade with just an EMA 21 and an SMA 200. Everything would be good, right? But still, guys, it is important to watch other psychological properties here. And I will say that the signal for the volatility versus momentum historical backtest still has not fired. We are teetering on the edge of firing off this signal, right? We absolutely will need or volatility and the moving average of volatility to both be pivoted towards the upside and beyond the 15% of critical contraction on a full-on expansion phase in order for us to meet this data right here, right? That has about Yeah, that has about a pretty good upside accuracy here of 73.43%. This data here was collected by one of my master's students, right? And I will say that they are absolutely coming along. They are now putting their thesis together alongside with me, and they are absolutely killing it. So I want to make sure that you guys do join the ARCa Bulls University here for the upcoming course coming in, and definitely hit the link that you're seeing on the left here to join the ARCa Bulls trading team. I will say plays like WHLR, Tesla, plays like TLT, plays like Zillow, right, for Z, ticker symbol Z, and absolutely what else did we have, man? Oh my goodness, guys, we are just nailing the plays left and right. Go ahead and join the ARCa Bulls trading team by hitting those links on the left here, as these links will expire here pretty soon. And I want to make sure that you get the opportunity to join for one single price for life with your boy here. Okay, guys, I think this is a pretty good place to leave off. And without any further ado, I think just have a great day, and we'll talk very soon. Any questions or concerns, you know where to reach me, right, team? Love you all. We'll talk very soon. Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. Ever. I need you to do your own due diligence, and everything will be cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well a very, very good rest of your night and or day. And I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios, team.